Hello, my dear children. Welcome to today's class. So, what are we doing today? Today, we are diving deep into the space. We are going by our rockets to the space, and this takes us to the chapter number 8, the universe. So, the solar system. You know what? Just like we have a family, we have head of the family and different family members. When we go into the space, our space is also like a huge family with different family members, every family member doing something or the other, moving on its own. Some family members are big, some are small, some have some features, others have different features. So, what are these family members called? Who are they? Let's find out in this chapter. The solar system. The solar system is like a very big family. It consists of the sun in the center, planets and their satellites, asteroids, meteoroids, and comets, all of which move around the sun. So, which all family members do we have? We have a big sun in the center, and this is the biggest member of the family, which is sun. And all the other members of the family, they revolve around the sun, and these are called planets or comets or satellites and asteroids, meteoroids, and many more members, other stars also. So, all of these are the part of the solar system. Now, let's talk about the first and the biggest member of our solar system family, that is the sun. So, what is the sun? Sun is actually a very huge ball of fire, and it has a lot of gases in it, and it has its own light, and that is why it's a star. So the sun is a huge ball of fire that gives heat and light. So on earth, when we have heat and light, that is coming from sun only. Sun is the largest member of the solar system. It has a diameter of 110 times bigger than the Earth's. So, what is a diameter? So, if this is a sun, our Earth is very small and the diameter is this. So, if Earth's diameter is this much, then the sun's diameter is 110 times more than that of Earth. So just imagine that how big our sun is. And the distance from the Earth to the sun is 150 million kilometers. So 150 million kilometers away the sun is from Earth. Now planets. What are planets? Planets are the heavenly bodies that revolve around the sun. Planets are the heavenly bodies that revolve around the sun. So, sun is stationary, sun is not moving. But the heavenly bodies are moving around the sun, and one of those heavenly bodies are planets. So what are planets? Planets are actually, they do not have light of their own, and they are revolving around the sun in their fixed path, and that path is called orbit. Okay, like Earth is also one of the planets of our solar system. Like Earth, there are many other planets. We will read about each one of them one by one. Planets are heavenly bodies moving around the sun. They do not have light of their own. So, if they do not have light of their own, they take light from the sun and they reflect that. So, sunlight reflects on them. All planets are spherical in shape. So, spherical means not completely round, but roundish, like this. Okay, so this is spherical. Each planet has a fixed path of its own as it goes around the sun. So, supposingly, this is our sun, and these are the planets which are moving around the sun. They will all move in one path only. Like from years, from millions of years, they are moving around the sun in one path only. So when we have planets, they are moving around the sun in one path only. They cannot cross each other's path. If they will do that, they can collide with each other and blast. So each planet has a fixed path of its own when it goes around the sun. Earth's orbit around the sun is elliptical. Movement of planets are of two types. So how, when the planets are moving around the sun, they show two types of movements. Number one is when they move on their own axis like this. This is called rotation. And the other movement is when they are going around the sun in round and round. So this is called revolution. So there are two movements shown by the planets. One when they go around the sun on their own axis, that is rotation, and when they are moving around the sun in their path, that is called revolution. So what are the two movements? Rotation and revolution. And how many planets are there in our solar system? There are 8 planets in our solar system. There are 8 planets in our solar system. The 8 planets move around the sun in their fixed paths and fixed positions, and they are called orbits. So all these paths in which the planets, each planet is moving, it is called orbit. Okay. So as you can see in this picture, every planet is moving in their own path. These are the blue paths which are being shown, and these blue paths are known as orbits, and the planets are moving in their fixed path of orbits. So see, even planets are so disciplined. The first planet of our solar system is Mercury, M. It is the closest planet to the sun. It features a barren crater-covered surface which looks similar to moon. So as you all know that the surface of a moon is, it has big holes called craters. So similarly is the surface of Mercury. It also has big craters on it, and it is the closest planet to that of the sun, and its surface looks similar to that of moon. Second planet is Venus, and it is the second closest planet to the sun, and it is also called Earth's twin. Why? You know who are twins, who look identical, who are the twin brothers or sisters are the brother, they are born to the same mother and they look similar. So that is why there is a reason that Venus is called Earth's twin. Why? Because Venus and Earth has shape and size which is almost identical, almost the same. Okay. So it is also called Earth's twin planet as its shape and size is very much similar to our Earth. The next planet is Earth, and Earth is the 5th largest planet in our solar system. It is also called the blue planet because its 70% area is covered with water. So when we see it, it almost seems to be blue. Some parts of it seem to be green, which are the landforms. Otherwise, it's a blue planet. 70% of its area is covered with water. And it is the only planet on which there is life. Life exists only on Earth. It is the fifth largest planet in solar system. It is called the blue planet as almost 70% of its surface is covered with water. It is the only planet which is covered with water, and it is the only planet in our solar system where life exists. All right. Now comes the Mars. Mars is also called the red planet. Why it is called the red planet? Because it has dusty, rocky surface and a relatively calm conditions and a thin atmosphere. Okay. And these dusty rust particles get whipped into dust storms into atmosphere surrounding the planet, and therefore Mars seems to have a reddish pink sky. So the dust particles, they with a storm, they get dispensed into the atmosphere, and when these dust particles it goes in the atmosphere, the sky seems to be reddish pink in color. So it is always like that, and that's why Mars is called red planet. And scientists are the astronauts, scientists, they believe that in future life can be possible on Mars. So they are trying their best to find out some or the other ways by which the life on Mars can be possible. Now comes the next planet, Jupiter. It is the largest planet in the solar system, and it is famous for what? It is famous for its red spot. So Jupiter spins very fast. It is the largest planet and it spins very, very, very fast. And when it spins very fast, the clouds around Jupiter, they get collected in the form of stripes in the on Jupiter, and it looks beautiful. Okay, so Jupiter spins very fast, pulling the clouds surrounding it to form striped pattern. So how does Jupiter look like? Jupiter is like this, and if you see, there are the stripes of clouds on it like this, and that's why it looks beautiful. Now comes the Saturn. It is the second largest planet in the solar system, and it is also known as planet with rings because it appears to have several rings around its middle. So how does Saturn look like? So Saturn is like this. It is the second largest planet, and when we see it, it seems that it has rings around it. So with these rings, we identify that this is Saturn. All right, then comes Uranus. Uranus is the third largest planet in the solar system. It rolls like a barrel rather than spin like a Earth. So, Earth spins like this around the sun. So, it is rotating, it is spinning like a top, like this, like this, like this, and it is also revolving. So, Earth is going like this. Okay. But how does Uranus go around the sun? It rolls like this and then it revolves around the sun. So suppose this is Uranus, it rolls like this and then it goes around the sun. So rolls and goes, rolls like this, and then it revolves around the sun. It was the first planet discovered by the telescope, although it's the third largest planet, but with telescope, it was the first one to be identified. Now comes the Neptune, and Neptune is the eighth planet of our solar system, and it is nearly 4 times bigger than the size of the Earth, and it features strong winds and violent weather. So on Neptune, how do we identify Neptune? It has very, very violent storms, strong winds blowing on Neptune all the time. Now, the planets Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, they are closer. These are the first four planets, and these are relatively closer to Sun, and that's why they are called inner planets. And Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, they are very big planets and they are away from these are the next four planets and they are relatively away from the Sun, and these are called outer planets. Okay. Now there is one acronym that we can see over here just to remember the names of the planets. So as you see, these are the acronyms by which we can remember the names of the planet. Also, how you can remember my very educated or excellent mother. Mother just served us nuts. So just remember this line, my very excellent mother just served us nuts. So Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So like this, you will be able to remember the uh, names of the planets, and that too in order. So till July 2006, there were 9 planets in our solar system. Ninth planet was Pluto, but then scientists discovered some other things about planets, and they learned that Pluto is not a planet anymore, and it is considered to be a dwarf planet. So till July 2006, it was accepted that the sun has a family of 9 planets. But the International Astronomical Union, IAU, redefined a planet. Our solar system left with only 8 planets, and Pluto, which was earlier a planet, is now a dwarf planet. All right. So this is all about sun and planets. Then comes the next heavenly body, which is known as asteroids. So asteroids are small rocky objects that are made up of rock and metal. They move around the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. So asteroids are moving in around the orbits of Mars and Jupiter only, and they are small rocky objects, and they are made up of rocks and metal. Now comes the meteoroids. So meteoroids are small pieces of rocks that move around the sun. So along with the planets, asteroids and meteoroids, they also move around the sun. And meteoroids are the small pieces of rocks that move around the sun. Its size are different, ranging from tiny dust grains to small asteroids. So just meteoroids can be very, very small, like grain size, and then they can be small asteroid size also. If you have ever looked up at the sky at night and seen a streak of light or shooting star, that is actually a meteoroid. So when we say it's a shooting star, when we see a certain trail in the sky at night, it is nothing but it's a meteoroid. Now, how can that streak of light can be seen, the trail of light can be seen? So when a meteoroid enters the Earth's atmosphere at a high speed, so as you all know that Earth is surrounded by a thin layer of air, and that is called atmosphere, correct? So when these meteoroids, they enter the Earth's atmosphere at a very high speed, it heats up and it begins to burn. So when it begins to burn, it is called meteor. However, when it survives in the atmosphere and lands on the ground, it is called a meteoroid. Okay. So when these meteoroids, they enter the Earth's atmosphere, and it gets heated up and it starts burning up. So when it is burning up, it is called meteors, and when it is able to survive and it lands on the ground, it is called meteoroid. Now comes the comets. Comets are the large objects made up of dust and ice. So, in the solar system, there is another member of the solar system known as comets, and the comets are made up of dust and ice. And it also moves around the sun in an orbit. They move around the sun in elongated orbits. Like elongated means very, very long orbits. They move around the sun. When a comet comes closer to the sun, as you know that it is made up of ice, and when it will come closer to the sun, it will start evaporating, it will start melting. So it begins to heat up and gives off dust and gases and appears to glow. So when it comes near to the sun, the gases and the dust, it goes away, and the comets, they start glowing up. And this vaporization of frozen gases forms a comet's tail stretching away from the sun, and comets can be seen with the naked eyes in around every 76 years. All right. So what happens, suppose this is a comet, it is made up of ice and dust particles. When it comes near to the sun, these gases, it starts vaporizing, and this is a kind of tail that we can see of comets, and it looks beautiful. It can be seen with naked eyes around every 76 years. So this was all about the members of the solar system. Now we have to study about our planet Earth on which we live. How does the Earth move, and how does which two movements does Earth show, and if that movement is being shown, what is the significance of it, what is the importance of those movements. So what happens, the Earth moves in two ways. As I told you, it moves along it on its own axis like a top, like this. It moves on its place, that's called rotation, and while rotating it revolves around the sun, and this is called revolution. So when the Earth rotates on its own axis, it takes one full turn in 24 hours. That is in one day. And because of this rotational movement of the Earth, day and night, it occurs in different part of the Earth. So supposingly this is our sun, this is our Earth. Earth is rotating. So when the part which is towards the sun, in that part of the Earth, it will be day. And when it starts rotating slowly, this part will turn away from the sun, and this part will come to the sun, and now in this part it will be night, and in the opposite part which is now towards the sun, it will be day. So that is why in some of the countries, when it is daytime, the countries opposite to that particular continent or that country, it has night in that particular country. So for example, if it is day in India, it will be night in USA. All right. We already know that Earth rotates on its axis. It goes around the sun along a fixed path. The axis is an imaginary line around which the Earth spins. So this is the Earth. Earth has a north pole, it has a south pole, it is slightly tilted, and the imaginary line that goes from the middle of the Earth from north axis to the south axis, it is called the axis. So the imaginary line that goes from the north pole to the south pole from the middle of the Earth, it is called axis. Okay, and the two ends, these are called the poles. The pole towards north is known as North Pole, and the pole towards south is called the South Pole. The axis is tilted at the angle of 23.5 degrees. So You can see over here, this is 23.5 degree at which it is tilted. The rotation of the earth on its axis causes day and night, whereas revolution causes the season. So I told you, how does rotation cause day and night? And when rotation causes day and night, there is another movement, that is revolution, when the earth is moving around the sun in its orbit, and because of that there is a change of seasons. That is why winter changes to spring season, spring changes to summer, summer changes to rainy season, and that's how all the seasons goes on changing. This time is taken to be 1 year. So the earth revolves around the sun in its orbits in 365 days. That is 1 year. That's why in 1 year we can experience all kind of seasons in India. Now, how do seasons change with the revolution of earth? I'll tell you in my own words and then we are going to read from here. Now, as we know, supposingly this is our earth and it is tilted like this. So, it is tilted like this and it goes around the sun like this. When it is going around the sun, the part which is towards the sun, it has summers there, and the part which is away from the sun, it has winters there. Okay, so half of the year, the north hemisphere, what is the north hemisphere? So this is the axis, this is the north hemisphere, and this is south hemisphere. So half of the time, half of the year, north hemisphere is closer to the sun, and that's why in north hemisphere there is summers, and at the rest of the year when the earth is revolving and half of the year has been passed, now the south hemisphere is near to the sun, and that's why summers are there in south hemisphere and vice versa. So the revolution of the earth around the sun causes seasons. The seasons occur because the earth is tilted at a fixed angle. Thus, for half of the year, the northern part of the earth faces the sun, and for the other half of the year, southern part faces the sun. The part of the earth that faces the sun has summer, and the part which is away from the earth, from the sun, has winter. Now, let us take an example of India and Australia. India is in the northern hemisphere, the northern part, whereas Australia is in the southern hemisphere or southern part. This is why when it is winters in India, it is summers in Australia. So in India, we have 4 seasons, that is summer, monsoon, autumn and winter. Now you can see that when the half of the part, when it is facing the sun, it has summers in it, and this part has winters right now. When it starts revolving, then when half part of both the hemispheres are exposed to the sun, it is neither hot, neither very hot, neither very cold. So it is autumn. Okay, and then the earth has been revolved, and now this part, half of the part is again towards the, which is towards the sun now, has summers. That is this part which has winters, now it has summers, and this part which initially had summers now has winters. Okay, and this keeps on going year after year, year after year. Now, the next heavenly body in our solar system, that is our satellite. Satellites are the objects that revolves around a planet. So planets revolve around the sun and the satellite revolves around the planet, and these are called the satellites. Satellites are of two types, one is man-made and one is natural. So natural satellites are the natural objects that orbit the Earth's planet and are the other planets and our own Earth. So what's the natural satellite of Earth? That is the moon. So the moon is a natural satellite which orbits the Earth. The moon does not produce its own light. It shines because it reflects the sunlight that falls onto its surface. So India's natural satellite is moon. Moon does not have light of its own. It reflects the light of the sun just like the planets do. Okay, so these are the two artificial satellites made by the scientists, and they have been sent up in the space to revolve around the Earth. So man-made satellites which are moving around other planets are called artificial satellites, and they have been launched by different countries to study space. For example, INSAT, GSAT, Bhaskara, Aryabhatta are some of the satellites launched by India. So India has launched GSAT, Aryabhatta, Bhaskara, all these satellites which revolve around other planets and around Earth also. Artificial satellites help in communication, weather forecasting, detect underground water, etc. The weather bulletin we see every day on television is based on the photograph and information gathered by some satellites. So when the satellites are being sent up in the space, the satellites gather information regarding that how the weather conditions are, how is the wind, how is the storm conditions, how are the clouds, and then the photographs are being sent, and that's how weather is being forecasted with the help of satellites. So these are the key terms that we have done in today's lesson. Celestial, that is related to the sky. So the celestial bodies are those bodies, the objects related to the sky. Webbed means to move quickly and suddenly in a particular direction. Elongated means usually long and thin. Dwarf means extremely small in size. And forecasting means to say what is going to happen in future. So please remember that our solar system consists of sun, planets, asteroid, meteoroid and the moon. The fixed path in which planets revolve around the sun is called orbit. Asteroids are small rocky objects that are made up of rock, metal and are moving around the sun. Comets are large objects made up of dust and ice that orbits around the sun. The pole towards north is called North Pole and the pole towards south is called South Pole. The rotation causes day and night and revolution causes seasons. Axis is imaginary line running through the center of the earth from North Pole to the South Pole at the angle of 23.5 degrees. In India, we have 4 seasons: summer, monsoon, autumn and winter. We also have rainy season, by the way. So this is called monsoons. An object that revolve around a planet in an orbit is called satellite. Satellites are of two types, natural and artificial. Now let's complete this exercise and see what have we learned in today's lesson. Choose the correct option. The sun is a star. Dash is the largest planet in our solar system and that is Jupiter. Which of these heavenly bodies revolve around the planets? Satellites. Dash planet is known as blue planet Earth. Dash is a red planet Mars. Let's fill in the blanks. Earth's orbit around the sun is elliptical. Dash is the largest member of the solar system, Sun. Second largest planet in the solar system is Saturn. Dash does not produce its own light, Moon. This is a planet which features a barren crater covered surface which looks similar to the moon, Mercury. This is a picture of our solar system. Let's name all the planets. So this is Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Now let's give one words to the following. The only planet where life exists, Earth. A planet which is known as Earth's twin planet, Venus. This planet features famous red spot, Jupiter. This is known as dwarf planet, Pluto. This planet features strong winds and violent weather, Neptune. We have to answer the following questions. What is the difference between a star and a planet? Star has a light of their own, whereas planet reflects the sunlight. What are the planets? So planets are the heavenly bodies that revolves around the sun. Write the names of all the planets. So you can write about my very excellent mother just served us nuts. What is a satellite? Satellite is a heavenly body which revolves around the planets. Name any two satellites launched by India, Bhaskar and Aryabhatta. How are seasons formed? So please explain the whole method, that the earth is tilted at a particular axis of 23 degrees and it is divided into northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. When it revolves around the sun, the part which is closer to the sun, which is faces towards the sun, it experiences summers, and the part which is away from the sun, it experiences cold. And then you can give an example of India and Australia. Now, these are some fun-based exercises that you can do with your friends, family, and have fun with the lesson. Just make a colorful, eye-catching project of movement of Earth and the changing of seasons in your scrapbook, and paste some beautiful pictures, surf internet and collect pictures and paste it in your scrapbook. Now, you can also make a model of solar system using various objects. You can take some tennis balls, color them and make different uh, planets. Okay, then you can go to your neighborhood organization and museum and virtually just experience virtual reality experiences that allow you to explore Mars as if you were standing on its surface. This immersive experience provide a unique opportunity to learn about the planets and their landscape. Now, this is Albert Einstein, and he was a brilliant astronomer. So you can just explore more about him, and please see that what all work he has contributed in, and he has also won a Nobel Prize for his amazing discoveries. So research about Albert Einstein and prepare a report about him. So that's all for today in the chapter Universe. I hope you have learned a lot about our planets and their features. So bye bye for now. Keep learning, keep shining. Bye bye.